Hi, welcome, this is Clemens at Elektor. In this video I will present an easy way to extend Home Assistant with Zigbee so you can integrate wireless push buttons and other remote controls. During the few years that I've been experimenting with home automation, I've learned many things. The most important thing I learned was that, at least in my situation, home automation is rather pointless. My current system is limited to 2 lamps in the living room and a front doorbell extension. All other things that I tried were interesting experiments, but not very useful to me and therefore did not remain in the system. My current system consists of Home Assistant running on a Raspberry Pi 3B+, and 3 nodes based on ESP8266 Wi-Fi modules programmed with ESP Home. At some point, the heating of our home was also controlled by Home Assistant. This worked very well until we replaced the heater. The new heater came with its own programmable wireless controller and further automation was no longer needed. The 2 lamps in our living room switch on when the sun goes down, all year long, which is practical as I don't have to adjust anything, set and forget. They are switched off when it is about time to go to bed. This is convenient as it is what we want most of the time, but not always. Sometimes you want them switched on at other moments and this requires pressing a button. Of course, when you have an automated home, you don't want to get up to press a button, you want a remote control. Now I don't want to use my phone as a remote control and I don't want to oblige other users to install an app or connect to a web interface on their own phone. I want a remote control that anyone can understand and use, including guests. A remote control must be portable and therefore battery powered, and this sort of excludes Wi-Fi unless you are willing to recharge the remote every day or so. Also, you want the remote to be reliable and look good, and this makes DIY difficult, well, at least for me. You could use a TV infrared remote, but there is also Zigbee. Zigbee is low power wireless communication technology intended for applications that are sleeping most of the time. It is perfect for remote controls. IKEA's
Trådfri
product line is based on Zigbee. Trådfri devices are cheap, look good and are well built, and I bought some, of course, even though I knew that they don't integrate well with Home Assistant. I simply hoped that this issue would be solved in the near future, but up to now it hasn't, at least not to my knowledge. Trådfri remote controls only publish their battery level, not the state of their push buttons, and so they are useless. Looking once more for a solution, this time I stumbled upon the Zigbee-to-MQTT project. This claims to be compatible with IKEA's Trådfri, which is already excellent news, but it supports many more products from dozens, if not hundreds of manufacturers. To use Zigbee-to-MQTT, you need a Zigbee adapter to connect to your home automation system. The idea is to reprogram one of these with Z-Stack3 firmware to make it compatible with Zigbee-to-MQTT. A list of suitable adapters is available on the website. Checking them out, I noticed that the Sonoff Zigbee 3.0 USB Dongle Plus comes preloaded with the Z-Stack3 coordinator firmware. Also, it is advertised as being compatible with Home Assistant and ZHA, the Zigbee integration of Home Assistant. This dongle is inexpensive, and because Sonoff also sells cheap wireless switches, I decided to order a dongle and 2 SNZB01 wireless push buttons. After receiving the dongle, I installed the ZHA integration in my Home Assistant, and when I stuck the dongle in a free USB port of the Raspberry Pi running Home Assistant, it was discovered automatically by ZHA, which also set it up for me. The next step was to add one of the wireless push buttons to the system. According to their manual, you need an app for that, which I installed. This app wants you to create an account first, which I didn't want to do, and so I looked a bit further. As I soon found out, via ZHA you can visualize information about the Zigbee dongle. This page also features an option to add devices to the dongle's Zigbee network without needing some cloud account that you don't want anyway. Clicking the link launches the pairing process. To pair with the wireless push button, you must press its RST button until its LED blinks 3 times. And, believe it or not, that's all there is to it. After pairing the push button, it is available as a device in Home Assistant, featuring several events that can be used to trigger automations. There is a button press, a button double click and continuous press, and, like a Trådfri, a battery level. The next step was to try to add an IKEA Trådfri device. I tried this with a remote E1810 using the same procedure for adding a device as before. You must first press the link button 4 times quickly in a row to remove it from any other networks that it may have been linked to previously. Then wait about 10 seconds before you can start the pairing process. Usually this starts automatically. If not, try pressing the link button again. When a red LED somewhere on the device starts to breathe, the device is ready to pair. After my IKEA remote was found, I could create automations for it. You may now be disappointed if you expected some deep technical tutorial about flashing firmwares and hacking devices, which, to be honest, I feared that I would have to do, but it turned out to be all plug and play. No need to figure out how to install Zigbee-to-MQTT, as I didn't need it. No need to figure out how to reprogram a dongle with special firmware. 15 minutes was all. My coffee didn't even have the time to get cold. As a next step, I might try to integrate my Trådfri devices that don't work yet. My Trådfri shortcut button, for instance, has problems, but it doesn't work well with the IKEA gateway either, so it may simply be broken. My Trådfri motion detector, on the other hand, configures fine, but the motion detection events don't come through. It used to work fine when paired directly with a Trådfri light bulb. Maybe it needs a firmware update? If I make important progress with all this, I will let you know in a new video. See you then.